Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. We're doing a post BG commentary, which is the first time I've done this in... I think the last time I did this was when I had a YouTube channel back in like Cataclysm where I was 14 trying to make YouTube videos with Guns N' Roses copyrighted music over it, which were the glory. But since then I haven't done it, so it's been only 4 expansions later, so let's jump right into it. We're playing Havoc Demon Hunter. I'm going to show my talent somewhere around here. There we go. So you'll see I-Beam trait, which pretty much gives you haste, and then this Blade Dance one increases Blade Dance damage. The other ones aren't really relevant, it just gives agility, and then an Absorb Shield. Again, another haste trait. The one above that increases the damage of I-Beam, and then also reduces the cooldown of I-Beam by 0.7 seconds every time you obtain a Soul Fragment. And again, agility. And then the closest one to the middle is a heal yourself every time you spend Fury. Go ahead. Okay, there we go. And then another haste one, and then a Chaos Strike one. I kind of want to get 3 of those Chaos Strike traits and see how much damage it does. Whatever that Gust of Wind looking one does, I know it gives just all of your secondary stats on chance. And then the Absorb Soul Fragment heal thing again. Then I flash my talent somewhere around here, because I know I'm getting better at that. There we go. So, the talents are right here: Demonic Appetite, Immolation, or Trail of Ruin, Soul Rending, First Blood, Master of Glaive, and Demonic. The main thing here, or like the main talents you kind of have to have, or at least I'd recommend, Trail of Ruin, Demonic Appetite, and Demonic. You can switch First Blood around if you really want to, but let me take that back. You need Demonic, Trail of Ruin, First Blood, and Demonic. And I'm saying Demonic twice because 99 row Demonic, and then 110 row Demonic. So technically Demonic Appetite, and then Demonic Form, and then First Blood, and then Trail of Ruin. You can switch around Soul Rending for Netherwalk or Desperate Instinct. You can change around the Master of Glaive for Fell Eruption, which most people take for Arena. And then you can change the Immolation Aura around, but I just like it the most, so I always stick with it. And then we're gonna fast forward until we get to an actual team fight. Because usually, I know I was just hitting this Shaman with Demon's Bite just because I didn't want to waste any cooldowns. There's me flashing my talents again. Alright. So let's go over the basic, I guess, Havoc Demon Hunter rotation before I actually do some gameplay. Ideally, you want to be in Demon form as much as possible, especially with this build and the certain traits you have which reduce the cooldown on I-Beam, and the fact that your I-Beam turns you into your Metamorphosis form or your Demon form, which then gives you haste. I've talked about this a few times. Just a few. So the whole point of it is to have the cooldown on I-Beam be up as much as possible, so you always want to be using I-Beam pretty much whenever it's up. You want to use Demon form whenever it's up because it's cooldown. Obviously, you have to use it to get the cooldown ticking. And then, whenever you Chaos Strike, you have a chance to shatter a Lesser Soul Fragment from the target, which is the 99 row Demonic Appetite. That Soul Shatter Fragment that you do shatter from targets on occasion with Chaos Strike will reduce the cooldown of your I-Beam, which in effect reduces the cooldown of your Metamorphosis. And obviously, when you use I-Beam with a certain trait that I talked about that I have 3 of, I gain about 1400 haste, or about like 20% haste, which is part of the reason why Havoc Demon Hunters do so much damage right now. It's more, I guess, present when we're going against healers, because healers usually take no damage, but sometimes, there's a lot of times in this battleground where I'm hitting a Holy Pally. He just melts so fucking fast. And he was actually really good at juking, too. I think this is the guy right here. I should have saved my Consume Essence or Consume Soul thing. Whatever my Q is. If you look at my Q key binding, it's pretty much a Purge that shatters a Soul Fragment, which also reduces the cooldown of I-Beam. And you pretty much want to use it. I don't want to say you want to use it as a last resort, but sometimes you want to try and conserve it to purge more important stuff off. This is really good against Holy Pally specifically. You can purge Ghost Wolf off of Resto Shamans, which is pretty nice. And you can also purge the Aura Mastery off a lot of people, or a lot of the healers as well. So that's something to like kind of be looking out for whenever you're playing Havoc Demon Hunter. You'll see as soon as that... I thought that Shaman popped Spirit... it's not Spirit Shell, Astral Shift, so that's just kind of why I switched off of him immediately. I don't even know what I purged off of this guy. I'm gonna go back, actually, and see. What did I purge off of him? Probably nothing relevant. Let's see. I know I purged something, because my thing was on cooldown. I purged his Azurite Essence thing off. Not the best use. Because he throws up... I don't think he throws up Bop. I guess purging the damage reduction on Holy Pallies wouldn't be so bad as well once it gets to 3 stacks. I was gonna capture the flag, realized I was playing an objective, and realized there was still a person alive, so... And I had I-beam up, so I was obviously gonna switch on to him. See, again, I purged the Azerite trait there. It can be pretty useful for healers when it comes to healing themselves. So I purge it there. I see the Divine Protection, and I realize I don't think I have an interrupt here. Yeah, no, never mind. I did have an interrupt. Anyway, this Holy Pally jukes me so many times, it's ridiculous. No, I was gonna say he jukes me here, but he just bubbles. Surprisingly, I'm pretty sure I live here as well. But it's, I don't know, it's not really surprising since I'm a Havoc Demon Hunter and no one's really focusing me. I don't even know what I'm doing here, I'm just hitting DPS. Whenever a Pally bubbles, I just switch off of them for a little bit, and then when I know the bubble's gone, and I see over there, and I peek over, I realize he's no health. And then me and that Warlock just kind of one-shot him to nothing. Gonna use I-beam again. Really, you don't want to have I-beam, like, be usable and then not use it. I'm kind of still getting decent at making sure I use I-beam whenever it's up, because the cooldown is actually a lot shorter than 30 seconds. I'd say it's closer to 20 or 15 if you get enough soul shard fragments. But that's the first team fight. All I did there was really focus healers and watch out for purges. If I was using I have Leothris, I could have done like a little bit more, but I don't think there was many casters. Hunter tried to bully me. This Hunter was also the Hunter that was backpedaling the entire Battleground before. Because I played 2 Battlegrounds and I realized that guy from the previous one. Fury Warrior charged me, I realized he popped Recklessness, so I tried to kite it out. So I Vengeful retreated and then threw my glaive at him to slow him. He didn't have another gap closer since he charged me and he didn't want to leap towards me. So he kind of just gave up, so I avoided most of his damage there. Soon here I'm going to switch on to the Resto because I realized he actually kind of knows what he's doing. Oh wait, no, I CC him for once in my life and then I interrupt him when he's... I'm looking out for the cast right here, I interrupt it in the middle of a Blade Dance and I just finish the Hunter off. And then I go on him with an I-beam again because I realize it's up. I'm so hard on like focusing on 1 and 2 and 3 that I almost never focus on my I-beam. I think I just need to put it maybe where my Immolation Aura is or something. Something a little closer to my main abilities, or the abilities I'm pressing the most. Because I'd say 90% of the time when I'm actually playing Havoc Demon Hunter, I'm just looking out for the Blade Dance cooldown, since it does so much of my damage. See here, I purge Freedom off of this guy pretty frequently as well. Usually you want to do that as a Havoc Demon Hunter, even though you don't have any problems reaching someone who has, I guess, gap closers to run away. Usually your teammates do. And the fact that you're one of the only classes with a purge really helps. And usually Holy Pallies will Divine Steed and the Freedom to get away. This just turns up to be like a giant chase all the way to Lumbermill. I kind of want to skip it because it's almost pathetic, because me and him are just slowing each other for about 20 seconds, but I guess I'll just let it run. You guys really want to see this? I don't know how to feel about it still. That was a really bad I-beam. Usually you get the most value of I-beam when you're actually able to hit the target, so don't do what I did there and use I-beam just for the range damage. Make sure you can actually get the full effect of that haste buff and the demon form. I purge his Freedom off there. Pretty much the most annoying things for Pallies. You don't really see many Havoc Demon Hunters do it against you as a Pally as well, but when you are playing a class and the Havoc Demon Hunter purges something super good off of you, it just feels horrible. I enjoy making Alliance feel horrible, so that's why we do it. Again, just trying to use 100% uptime on Blade Dance. I should have purged this guy's 2 Azerite traits off because it would have hit me for like 40,000, but I think I just killed him before he used it. You'll see here, I think I fly in the air to use Vengeful Retreat on this guy because he's just dodging all my abilities. I should have done that a lot earlier because I thought I'd be able to get behind him, but you'll see there I get like 2 Fell Lances off before he just flops. Alright, flying to the next team fight. I see the Holy Pally, I see the Resto Shaman, I say fuck those 2 guys and I'm gonna go on the Red Pally. I think once the healer actually gets close to me, I was gonna go on him. I shouldn't have used all my burst into this guy, because he did have Sacrifice and Astral Shift up, so he's not really gonna be taking too much damage. Spot of Zerking out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, hey, that looks cool. So I go and grab that. I'm gonna go on the Holy Pally, because I do think he is actually slightly better than the Resto Shaman. I wasn't really looking at the healing logs this Battlegrounds at all, but if you look at the healing logs, usually you just want to focus the top healing healer, because that's either the healer that's not getting focused the most, or the healer that's just the best at interrupting and juking people. But just from like watching this pally play, I can tell he's pretty decent. Kind of a late bop on his part there. Even if he did, I guess, have a little bit more uptime on it, we would have the opportunity to try and attempt to purge that off of him. I don't even remember what happens here. I think the Resto Shaman's still alive, and I switched to him fairly soon. I-Beam just came up. So the downtime on I-Beam's not very high. I'm kind of getting better at actually maintaining it throughout this battleground. Again, you can get 2 Blade Dances off in an I-Beam Demonic transformation. In a normal transformation, just from your normal cooldown, I believe you can get 3 Blade Dances. And you pretty much want 100% uptime on Blade Dance because it does do more damage than Chaos Strike. And the dot damage is very powerful. I don't know what happened there. That kind of made me really sad when I was playing this. Because on my... like, you can go back, I guess, and look at it. But I thought I kind of put it more near the flag, and then I leapt into the river. That's alright, because we're a Demon Hunter, and then we just go back up. I think I switched the pally here and purged the buff. Just shows how fucked he gets whenever someone does that to you. And I feel the pain so well whenever I'm on... whenever I'm on my pally. A little seizure. It's okay. It happens whenever I get too into PvP, which is why I don't arena. Anyway, Bop sucks when it gets removed. Here I just kind of taunt the BM Hunter. I think he just kind of suicides into my team as well. I see another BM Hunter run through the blacksmith there. I didn't realize it at the time, but I always check the blacksmith for berserking, and I see his health bar through the building, so I'm like, okay, what's he gonna do here? I go to I-Beam. He does feign death most of the damage, turned into Mike Tyson for like 1 millisecond there. I think I went to Lumber Build and nothing happened, and I'm just kind of hunting for this Holy Pally, because I usually, if you just follow the guy that's trying to go super hard and have the most impact on the game, that's where most of the plays will be made on their side. You'll see there I hit for 12,000 on my Chaos Strike. If I had more of those Chaos Strike traits, I'd be hitting a little bit harder. I don't think I purge anything relevant here. I haven't used my Darkness once either. I'm not sure if it's my self-heals. I did have 1 million self-heals at the end of this, or if it's just the fact I never got focused, but I don't know what it is. He bubbles there, I switch on to him because there's no point in hitting into a bubble. Even though Death Knights are pretty tanky, he does end up using Icebound Fortitude and cooldowns and Death Striking. So, we still do stick onto him though. Psych, I lied. We switch back onto the Holy Pally. I think he kind of flops here. I think it's just a Chaos Bolt and a Silence, yep. Then I'm like, where'd the Death Knight go that everyone just switched off of, which, great team communication. Even without comms, we all switched off of the Death Knight whenever he popped cooldowns and went back onto the Pally. Gotta get that disenchanting thing off my bar. I realize there's a good opportunity for a decent Chaos Nova here, so I don't really use it. I think I do get maybe 2 people in it. It's either 2 or 4. Okay. For the Chaos Nova, I'd say it was useful there and probably necessary to just stun the rest of Shaman to prevent heals, because usually, if you didn't know, once the healer is dead, the rest of the team just kind of flops over. I kind of just ignore that person from now on. I don't deal with that aspect of the turtle shit. So I just jump off the roof looking for the rogue, and I don't see where he went. He might have just died. And I try to do something about this feral. Been seeing a lot more feral druids, and I actually got put up against a really good one. He just kites the shit out of me. Let's skip forward. You'll see there, I'm like, meh, it's the same feral druid, I'm not dealing with that shit. He has thorns on himself, so I'm not gonna commit suicide and, you know, take that 10% of max health damage. It's either 10% or 5% every time you auto-attack them, but don't hit a druid and they have thorns on them. There I literally just go in the air and press Fell Lance to get all this person's health down. It was major plays. I need to do that more offensively. I think Fell Lancing offensively with Rain from Above is actually pretty decent, but I like to save it for a defensive as well. And the amount of defensives Demon Hunters have is also crazy. Darkness, Rain from Above, Blur, and then you can just kite people out forever as well. Always makes for a fun time. And then this is the end of the battleground. We're like, hey, there's like 47 till they capture. Let's try and kill someone here. I try to go on the Shaman. I'm too lazy to press my slow button, so we just go on the Death Knight. I think the Warlock pretty much murders that Shaman as well, so really no point. And we picked the better target, because we had more uptime. So that's it. That's kind of how I play Demon Hunter. I don't know what else to say about it. Abuse your mobility and your movement speed. That's, I'd say, the one biggest important thing about Demon Hunter. Your mobility is horrible to deal with. We did have a 300k health Warlock in this battleground, which I thought was kind of cool. You see I did 5 million damage, 1.1 million healing just through my self-heals from my souls that I shatter off people, which also heal you, and reduce the cooldown of your I-beam, which also gives you haste. And 5 million damage. I don't care about honorable kills or killing blows because people have executes and some classes don't. Other than that, big takeaways from Demon Hunter PvP. Try to I-beam as much as possible if you use this build. Blade Dance because it just does a shit ton of damage initially and then it applies probably one of the most powerful dots in the game. I'm pretty sure the dot from Blade Dance does 1.5 thousand damage every 1 second, which is about the same as a Moonfire. And Metamorphosis and Press That Azurite ability, which I'm slowly getting better at. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, description, bell thing. Let me know how you guys liked this post-commentary video. I'll see you guys next time.